All right. Let's see. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. All right. We are going to get started here in just a few minutes. In the meantime, we'll enjoy some music. Yes, you can. I know. All right. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes here. Just a few minutes. A few seconds, actually. But we are live. This is episode number 607. Epi number 607. And on tonight's episode, folks, I'm excited because the power of journaling is where healing begins. And again, this is Soldiers of Self-Mastery, Your Solution Live. We're going to be here for about 30 minutes, and we are tapping into this powerful, ancient, it's not a secret, practice called journaling. All right? That's what we're going to get into here a little bit. Again, this serves as a reminder. I am Santos, all the way from Stockton, California. This is Your Solution Live. So come on in, get in, grab a cup of coffee, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, what have you, take some notes, ask some questions. This is really about getting unstuck. That's what tonight's episode is about. It's about getting unstuck. So we get started early. Thank you for being here. Like I said, turn down every distraction and ask a question. Join in. Hopefully you like the music that we're playing in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud. Please let me know. I see a comment. I want to welcome you. Gaming on. I'm having a little bit of a difficulty, but I can see you. Thank you. And I got somebody that already is, we're going to race. I'm not sure if the music is too loud right now. We're just getting started.
It's good.
It's not too loud, right?
No.
Okay, I'm going to turn it down in the middle. Actually, that's the theme for this program now. I've actually created music for it, which is really cool. So we're expanding a little bit. Anyways, I'm excited. But tonight on epi number 607, and again, I'm not gonna be here too long, but we want to dive into this world of journaling, because journaling is not only ancient, but it is very, very transformative. It is very therapeutic. And every single time that you go there, you will not feel judged. So welcome, Race, to the podcast, and anybody else that's here. WebEx, I see WebEx, and somebody else is joining in. So that's what we're going to be taking on. Let me turn down the music a little bit. All right, we'll leave that just in the background low enough. Race, welcome all the way from the east, and I know that the weather is probably not the very best, but how are you doing tonight, and what can you say in a few seconds regarding this topic of the journaling, this phenomena, this maybe it might be an anomaly to somebody.
Yeah, journaling, it's really good to journal because your thoughts are so valuable, and sometimes we don't realize the value of our thoughts until maybe 2 weeks go by, and then you think back and you're like, oh my gosh, if only I still had that thought. Well, that's where journaling comes in. You can hack your reality by journaling. that's what I've been doing. Santos has been doing it. It's great, honestly. I wrote down all this last night. Look at that.
And
You see how much?
wow, that's fantastic, man.
So I have everything like that I want to say today, and boom, I got it all there.
All right. Well, we're gonna hopefully. I don't know if Jim's gonna be with us tonight. This thing again, race. We will never be able to really dive into the depths of this gift because journaling is a gift. Call it what you will. It is a gift given to us by the Creator. Let me read a proverb real quick, and then I'm going to get into this. And then I'm going to share with you guys probably one of my deepest insights into how I feel about journaling. And I'll give you another opportunity. And if there's anybody else out there, listen, if you want to chime in, you want to ask a question, you need to be journaling. It doesn't matter who you are, tall, big, small, Spanish, non-Spanish, different colors. It doesn't matter. You need to be journaling. And we're going to get into this, and you're going to know why. All right, this is Isaiah. Wow, in the Old Testament, Isaiah chapter 25, it says, "Oh Lord," this is the proverb for today. It says, "Oh Lord, thou art my God. I will exalt thee. I will praise thy name, for thou hast done wonderful things. Thy counsels of old are faithfulness and truth." Now, let me share something real quick here. What people don't realize is that the Bible is not just a royal law book. This is also a journal. This is a log that our Creator has given us that we can ponder on. And I truly believe this with all my heart, that when we ponder on this book, on the Proverbs of this book, we will experience something that you cannot get from the systems of this world. This is much higher, much deeper. So what I want to say first of all is, number one, we're not going to have time to complete this whole program tonight. So we're going to complete it on the next, probably within the next Sunday. But I do want to. Hi, Laura. Welcome. What up? What up? Race. Much respect. There we go. Thank you. So this is City by the Bay. Thank you guys for being here. Now I want you guys to pay attention to this. Listen, folks, if you hear anything, listen to this, what I'm about to read to you, and see if it makes sense to you. Again, I'm not going to be here that long. I know Race isn't going to be here that long. And we got to get something out of this. This is journaling 101. All right. For me, journaling feels like entering another realm, a quiet place, a peaceful environment. No noise, no pressure, no pretending. When I journal, I feel free because paper doesn't interrupt you. It lets you speak, and sometimes you don't just write. You cry, you dream, you rebuke, you heal. You heal. Folks, I don't know if you guys, there's a lot of things that we can partake of out there in the world. There's a lot of things. Journaling is a simple concept. It's a simple concept, yet it is not something that everyone grabs a hold of because they may not completely understand the gift. You got a thought? You got a thought, Race? And how could this help? All of this help a person that is ready to quit or struggling with gambling or something else?
Yeah. If I sports bet for 2 to 3 years, and that's because my mind was correlating wins with productivity, and that's an error of the mind. You got to wean gambling off your mind slowly. It can't be your primary focus. we allow things that aren't important to grasp a hold of our mind. And if you do it sometimes, it's not going to become a problem, but it becomes a problem for a lot of people. It destroys lives. So you have to ask yourself, do I want to associate with something that destroys people's lives? It's a very easy question to answer. Should be an easy question to answer. For me, it's
It,
absolutely no.
it
It's
feels
not
like it.
acceptable, and
Yeah,
I don't want it around me. And I'm gonna make sure I eliminate it totally.
there we go. Now, it's I'm sure you were sharing some notes with me. This is this is an ancient thing that we're talking about here. This thing is very, very old. In fact, there's books, there's writings, and the Bible goes way back. The Bible is full of writings. In fact, it's got the authors from Genesis through Revelation are different men. And I don't know if there's women. I know there was women that were used of God, but most of the writings are by men. And these men wrote accounts. It was they were basically they were it was all journaling, and we have it today. So journaling, it's also there's a mystery to journaling that can maybe keep people away from it. There's a mystery because we don't grow up in our homes. I did. I grew up teaching my children to journal when they were just children. That's the way I was. I was already teaching them. In fact, I taught my son and my daughter. Uh, I have other children that weren't biologically mine, but I taught them how to read from the Bible from the age of like 3, 2 to 3 years of age. They were already reading words from the Bible. So why did I say that? I guess practice. And sometimes you mentioned that we let things slip. But again, this podcast serves as a reminder that we need to get back to basics. And journaling is one powerful. Number 2, freedom through expression. Journaling frees. Journaling frees what's been trapped inside. Now, how does it do that? How does journaling do that? I don't know about you, Race. I'll let you, and if somebody else wants to share their experience, you go into another environment. You go into a space and time that is it's segregated from everything else. And
It's a
again, this is
comfort.
something that when you practice, you become more aware. It's like most people, honestly, most people, when you go somewhere, you're not even present. Most people are not even present. There's people that come and visit, and I see the numbers, they're not present. And hey, I understand that. That's not my fault. That's mental programming on somebody's fault. That's mental programming. And
You
we
you
need to
know
be
what?
present. Go
Focus.
ahead.
You have to train yourself to focus. I remember so many times I clicked on your live and I would only listen to the first 15 minutes and then I would turn it off. I remember that. And I remember thinking back, I was like, I should have listened to the whole thing because I watched it back and you guys speak some real valuable stuff. I mean, you might not even realize it, but man, you and Jim together, like I say all the time, you guys are like a power duo. You guys just really know how to dissect a topic really well.
Well, we're older too. We've been around for a little bit.
Hmm.
By the way, I appreciate you for saying that. I really do, Race. I appreciate you for saying that. That encourages me. I had a friend of mine that um, I consider him handicapped, but he's not handicapped because he's out there, man. This guy's making. I remember when I met him a couple years ago, and I shared journaling with him. I shared logging. Keep a log and build a vision. And this guy's the other day he we hang out a little bit here and there, and I still volunteer some of my time with him, and he was expressing to me that he hit his first $400 day, you know, or actually he's been hitting $400 days, and I'm like, wow, that's fantastic. And he said, and I'm not saying this because first of all, people don't need to trust me, right? We need to trust God, and we need to learn how to trust ourselves, but we can put a little bit of trust in others to help us get going. And he said, I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't because of you. I met him years ago at the insurance agency, and he was struggling. But I shared these things, and I've watched him over the years take notes, keep notepads. Of course, he's kind of a little messy, but he's kept these notepads and all these things. And I'm telling you, for a handicapped guy to be able to to be able to do $400 out there busting his butt, doing whatever he's doing, that encourages me. And I have to say, thanks God. Thanks be to God. But it's all the tools, you know. Journaling frees what's been trapped inside. And it looks like Jim's joining us. So
let's go.
All right. We'll add him onto the stage. Now, again, I can't be here too long. I'm going to have to get going after a little bit, but we're going to break into this because this is a really good topic. And we need it. I know I need it. I enjoy journaling. Some people say, well, I love journaling. I don't know about love it, but I really enjoy it because it takes you away. For 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes that you're journaling, it just takes you away. That's what it does to me. And I feel ashamed sometimes that I don't do more of it. It's like you get relaxed. You do it so many times, but yet, again, you got to be reminded. Let me see if I can get us back here. That way. Let me see. How are we doing that way? No. That's the best way right there. There we go. Hey, Jim, welcome all the way from Arizona.
Mateo, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jim?
Thank you. Doing great. Keith is with us also. And Mark, welcome. Let me see. There were rights I would watch and you still go, but I already come back. That's Keith. Well, welcome here again. I'm not going to be here that long. If you got a question about journaling, maybe you got something that you don't know about journaling. Come on, folks. We got to brainstorm together. We need to. This is a reminder, again, a reminder. If you're feeling stuck, you got to journal. Let me say this, and then I'm going to get Jim's. I want to get Jim's point of view. A lot of us carry emotions we never process. Fear, anger, regret, shame, and hope. When it stays inside, it weighs us down. But when it's written, it becomes visible. And what's visible can be healed. Jim, your point of view here, we're just touching on journaling. This is episode number 607, I believe. And the power of journaling. Go ahead, Jim. I get too excited, man.
Yeah, I mean, like a good way of finding out what's going on in your mind is how you talk to other people. I'm thinking about the way I talked to my mom this afternoon, and I was getting frustrated with her about certain things, and I was telling her, maybe I'm talking to myself the way I'm talking to you. So I think when we're journaling, we have to kind of be aware of what we're doing, what we're thinking, and we have to go and ask ourselves why. Why are we acting and thinking and talking the way we are? Where is this coming from? And it's good to go ahead and address that. Find some space to go ahead and start asking yourself, where is this coming from? Where is this coming from? And then I think that kind of opens the door for us to start, dealing with any kind of issue that we have.
If you don't, again, I'm gonna. This is segment number 2, but I'm gonna go back to segment number 1. Again, it's important reminders. Boy, we need to utilize technology today more than ever for reminders. Also, journaling feels like entering another realm. Journaling, like for instance, the gambler is stuck. The gambler is, man, he's deep in smelly shit, right? The problem gambler, he's losing all of it. If he hasn't lost it already, he's in deep shit. He's searching for a way out. He needs a way out. The depressed person, the person going through a relationship problem, that what have you, they're there. And you know, normally we won't turn to people. We won't turn to people. It's very challenging. Sometimes we do. We turn to groups, or we turn to a podcast, we turn to a video. We find it by mere coincidence. Sometimes we stumble across this shit. Yet, at a drop's notice, we can pick up a piece of paper or a pen, or pick up the perspective app that I love. I love journaling with perspective, and that's what I use. I use an app, and that app is full of some goodies in there, and it's completely free. I don't. You can donate if you want to donate, but it is an app that interacts with you, and you can go back a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can go back and look at notes. It's well put together and everything with colors. Um, what is it that I want to say here with journaling? It, for me, I mean, I'm losing my mind here thinking about journaling, but journaling is just something that takes you into an area where you can really begin defining yourself. If you feel lost, it doesn't matter where you are, who you are. If you can get a piece of paper, or you can get a pen, or an app, and you can begin putting words. Again, as I said, you're entering another realm, a quiet place, a peaceful environment, a place where you don't feel judged. And most of the time we talk to other people, you might go somewhere, you might feel judged. I'm not doing this. I don't feel right. You don't, there's none of that there. There's nobody judging you. You can be free. You can scream. You can yell. You can say the weirdest things on journaling. And that is freedom. And we don't get that often, Jim. We don't get to express ourselves like that, you know?
Yeah, journaling is like talking to yourself. It's like when you don't have anyone else to talk to, you can go and start having a conversation with yourself, but it's recorded. Some people like to talk to Chat GPT, and that's recorded too. I don't know. It's for me, sometimes I get in a different state when I talk to Chat GPT because I have a tendency to be a contrarian. So in a way, it's good to get some information from that, but putting down what's going in your mind, I think it just adds some space, because let's say that you're really angry at someone, maybe you're really angry, and you start writing, and when you start writing, you start getting a little bit more clarity. He said that, she said that, I'm so angry, um, and maybe you can it maybe gives you some time to kind of relax, take it easy, take a breath, because I mean, oftentimes we get into some emotional issues, and it's like you can go crazy, really, really crazy, if you don't have any kind of outlet. So journaling could be a way to kind of calm the mind and the emotions down. um
It's an it's an oasis, Jim. It's a gift. Journaling is a gift. Think about this: all the books and all the articles and things that are around today. You know that the powers that be are trying to get rid of a lot of articles or logs or journals, so-called journals. They're trying to do away with them. They're trying to revise them. They're trying to change them. There's something about those logs. There's something about those journals that need to stay in place. They need to be working. I mean, there's a lot of changes I don't know how many people are talking about journaling on podcasts. I'm sure a lot of people do. There's a lot of people that do talk, but I don't find a lot of it. I find a lot of entertainment, a lot of other stuff. Yet this topic, this ancient ritual, call it a ritual, a tradition, a practice, if you will, has been around for the longest. And I'm telling you, anytime, I hope somebody hears this. I hope somebody, the right person, hears this at any time. You could be in your car at the stoplight. You got a pen, paper right there. You got a minute, 30 seconds to think about a thought you can put down on paper that's going to help you an hour later or a week later, or who knows how long, or help somebody else because you wrote a thought. That's why I like this thing. Your good life is going to come out of a good series of good constant reminders. So I use the calendar. I'll use a perspective app. I use Chat GPT every once in a while. I use this Your Solution Live program to keep me focused as much as possible.
Yeah, one thing about journaling is I'm wondering if journaling, it captures the words, but I'm wondering if journaling captures our emotions at that moment, because something is causing us to write that because we are in an emotional state. And
Yeah.
that's one thing that I'm wondering if that's something that journaling lacks, that ability for us to kind of record that emotional state. Because it's kind of funny, I can go ahead and read over a
Mm-hmm.
journal entry,
Well,
but I don't think I
let me.
capture that emotion as I did at that time.
Mm-hmm.
At that time it was very powerful, but when I read it again, it doesn't click like it did at that moment.
Well,
Now,
here's something. Here's something for, again, journaling is an art. Journaling isn't just writing down, and you know this, Jim, obviously, but we need to be reminded of this. Journaling is an art, it's a gift. And when we utilize technology, for instance, I say this a lot, there's an app, it's free. It's called Perspective app. That app is full of technology inside. I mean, it's not overwhelming. It's not overwhelming, but it's got color codes. It's got different things that you can utilize when you leave notes and you go back. You can actually see how you were doing back then. It's really interesting. In fact, if you set it up right, it'll interact with you and it'll ask you questions, give you the smiley face, the sad face, or what have you, or the face that's not so in between. Little mood things that you can do. And again, you mentioned something good. I like that because usually when I go back, if you've been doing journaling for a long time, you can pick up on your emotions. If you understand who you are, you can pick up on your emotions. You can almost go back to that feeling in that environment, that state that you were in. I find that a lot in my journals. Maybe I was very, very deep in emotion when I'm writing, and I do that. I guess I get really passionate about these things. So again, I promote the Perspective app. It's free. It uses technology to, again, it contacts you. It when you set it up. Hey, hi Jim, how you doing today? Hi Race, hi Laura, hi Mark. Would you like to put something in your journal today? Hey, I'm reminding you, and this is what we need, right? Because again, we get too distracted and stuff like that. So that's all I'm pointing out with this, with the app. Race, you got some thoughts here?
Yeah, so a lot of people, if you're lost and you don't know where you should start um, with quitting gambling, let me give you a little tip. So this is where I started. First thing you should start is self-exclude from every app and website and in-person casino.
Mm,
That'll make sure that the accessibility for the addiction is gone. Next thing you have to realize is gambling is a comfort zone. You must stay away from comfort zones. Okay, if you're trying to defeat a comfort zone that's not doing good things for you, you have to find ways to, defeat it. Okay, gambling takes more than it gives. We shouldn't be giving our money and our effort towards something that is taking more than it gives. Another thing is you should value yourself again. Why? Because casinos will never value you. They're only valuing what they can take from you, and you should, move your life towards something that can give back to you. Also, true value isn't view count or money. It's what we're doing right here on this program. True value is positive impact you can have on people in your community around you. The way you articulate your words and dissect the topic for people to understand is real value. This episode is real value.
And I thank you for sharing that, by the way.
I wrote that down, just so you guys know. That was from my journal. So that was from my thoughts to the podcast.
Well, listen, I hate to be the bearer of good news, but we're going to have to take up this subject next Sunday. All right. We're going to get into segment number 3. But I want to leave you guys with this. Think about this. The pen, right? The pen, whatever it is that you're using, the instrument to write on, however it is that you're releasing, it becomes a valve for your soul. So if you want to release somehow, you can open that valve up. You can open an application. You can get a piece of paper. And believe me, you can even write on yourself. You can even write on your epidermis if you want to at times, just to remind yourself, hey, whatever. I used to do it to myself when I was working, and I'd be staring at that thing, whatever I wrote on my hand. I'd be driving. Yeah, I literally used to do stuff. I'd write on my windshield. I would actually take a red marker, and write on the windshield, make statements right there on the windshield. Of course, it doesn't block your view, but your peripheral and your subconscious sees that. You're not even paying attention to it. You could do that on your rear view mirror. You can do it on your when you do your mirror talks in your bathroom, if you get out of the shower, if you do that kind of stuff, crazy like me, crazy mofo. So these are kind of weird little tips, yet they're right there in front of you. You know, you write a few sentences that you want to remind yourself of. It's right there in front of your windshield. That's not going away unless you wipe it with alcohol. You know, you can wipe it with alcohol, it'll go away because those are permanent markers, but it does wipe away. So segment number 3, a God-given practice. Folks, journaling is a gift. So with that said, I'm gonna give Jim a minute here. I'm gonna give Race a minute. And if there's anybody else that has a question or something like that, we're gonna get back into this next Sunday. We're gonna hit it hard. Again, a reminder, if you're stuck, journaling could be the key for you. Jim, closing thoughts here?
Yeah. I mean, like, life is tough. And sometimes we don't know where to turn. Sometimes we feel pretty alone. It's good to go ahead and journal, because when we journal, I think we can go out and give ourselves a little bit more compassion.
Yeah.
We can give ourselves some compassion and some encouragement too.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Race, last thoughts, man. We're gonna get back into this. I have to actually I'm in severe pain doing this. I've got a really bad pain, but I want to definitely get back into this, because we're just scratching the surface. We will never get into the 7th dimension of this. No way.
I'm in a lot of pain too, Santos. I did 1 hour of skull crushers. I can barely move my arms. I had to take 1,200 milligrams of ibuprofen just to be able to move around a little bit. But let me just say real quick before I go, gambling is a war on the mind, and Sun Tzu says all warfare is based on deception. So it's winning over you because you're unconscious of the real danger that is right in front of you. You know, let's attack this week. Let's be focused on what we can grow and avoid negativity. You know, a lot of people in this world today, they're negative because they've been abused. They think that abusing other people is good. It means that you're powerful. You know, I think if someone's an abusive person and negative all the time, I think they're very evil, because they're not looking at what the other person's going through. And recently, you know, I've been just getting attacked. You know, I've been getting attacked by people I thought were friends. You know, they want to call me all types of names, and, you know, make me feel like I'm worthless, but you know, it just shows that these people, they're evil people. They don't have good intentions for anybody, and I'm just gonna keep rising above it and just keep being me, and just spreading the word of God, because that's what protects us all is God. So let's attack this week.
His sovereign leadership. Thank you for that. By the way, I put up a challenge. If anybody's interested, I think it's pretty neat. It's a 7-day challenge for journaling. It's in the Soldiers of Self Mastery YouTube in the post section there. Anybody, you can pick up on that information. There's some really good things in there. You know, I invite you to do that. If you feel stuck, if this can do for you, remember to support the mission. Subscribe, comment, like, and share. And I will definitely see you guys on next Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Lord willing, or might be earlier. And I want to send a thank you for Jim. I know Jim. Jim's on time too. He was on time because I was supposed to start at 7:30, but I started at 7. So we've been actually going a little bit earlier. And I definitely want to thank Grace for joining in, Laura, Keith, Mark, and all of the invisible men and the invisible women that showed up here on this podcast tonight. Again, City by the Bay, WebEx, and anybody else that I missed. Appreciate all of you guys. Have a great Sunday. Welcome to a new week. Wow, we're already in the month of February, man. We're headed towards 2027, folks. Let's prepare for it. I'll see you guys on Sunday next week. Lord willing, 7:30 p.m. Episode number 608. We'll see you guys. Thank you, Race. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.